In April, I began watching Discovery Health and TLC's show Jon Kate Plus 8. Now we're watching season 2. Now remember, it might be a crazy life, but it's their life.
It might be a crazy life.
We have all the kids?
Yeah, but it's our life.
I cannot get episode 1 to work, so I'll give a quick recap. In this episode, the Sextuplets turn 3 and are having a carnival-themed birthday party. This is also when TLC began making the show versus Discovery Health. Now, I'm an Irish twin, meaning my brother is less than a year older than me, and we had to share a couple of birthday parties. I cannot imagine sharing my birthday with 5 siblings. From this episode, we learn Maddie has been showing some jealousy every now and then about not getting the amount of attention she wants. And Colin does the opposite of what everyone wants him to by taking the popular toy or sitting on the slide when his siblings want to use it.
To get back at me, he does one of 2 things. He either frumples a rug and looks at me because he knows it drives me nuts, or he'll say, "Mommy, you a boy."
A lot of this episode is Jon, Kate, Uncle Kevin, Aunt Jody, and their other friends getting crafty and building things for the party. And of course, there's plenty of bickering between Jon and Kate.
You're not gonna cut it, are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna cut it.
No!
Yeah, so what are you gonna do with it if it's gonna be like this every birthday? It's gonna be the exact same length always.
Then, of course, things don't go perfectly, and Kate has accidentally put too much soap in the washer and flooded their laundry room.
What?
Oh my!
What happened?
We have a major problem! The floor is absolutely soaking wet. Oh my!
Imagine having a nurse that panics this much. I'm not sure how she was ever in that profession. This party is pretty lit though. They have a bounce house, horses, a clown, cotton candy, and funnel cake. At one point, Maddie was getting upset that everyone wasn't taking an equal amount of horse rides, and instead of talking to her, Kate says, husband, can you please come tame your wild child who's being ugly?" So that's pretty gross. Especially to say in front of that child, but also around all her siblings. We also learn in this episode that neither Jon or Kate's parents are involved in their day-to-day lives, so they're not at the party. One thing they did that I thought would be obnoxious, but was actually super cute, was when they sang happy birthday 6 separate times. Once for each kid. I love that each kid got a moment of attention from the party despite being sextuplets. And that's episode 1. Episode 2 is all about Mother's Day, and Jon is making Kate breakfast and doing his best to involve the kids.
Good girl.
I don't think Kate is actually sleeping in much, though. We also get another obey, and the cameras zoom in on the child in timeout moment. I talked about this in my season 1 video, but I really do hate it. I hate the use of the word obey, and I hate how these children are being followed and zoomed in on during their age-appropriate tantrums.
You don't want to obey, you can go there. Sit in timeout now.
Impressively, Kara sleeps through all of this, but she joins them just in time to give Kate the breakfast.
This is actually the first year I think the little kids were really into it and understood what was going on.
One thing that is a constant theme, and I always speak out against in these large families, is requiring the older children to help. Jon is always yelling for Kara and Maddie to help him, and while that can help them learn responsibility from time to time, they are only 7.
Ow, Kara, help.
I give their family the benefit of the doubt that they didn't intend to have this many kids. 8 kids out of 2 pregnancies is not something anyone expects. Now, Jon is preparing breakfast for all of the kids and says they need to start getting ready for church soon. I guess their church is also an hour away. That sounds like an unnecessary distance with all these kids.
It was a very busy morning, but we got out the door on time, so that means it was a good morning.
Jon gives Kate a gift card to the spa for Mother's Day, and Kate is going to use it the following day. Throughout the episode, we learn how attached to Jon Joel is and how attached to Kate Hannah is. I cannot imagine having a less independent personality and competing with all these siblings for attention and love. That's hard on everyone, parents and kids. To help Hannah feel better about Kate leaving for the spa day, Kate calls Jon, and it ends up being a speakerphone call for Jon and all the kids.
Okay, bye, Daddy.
But Kate does make it to the spa that day.
To us and quiet.
Quiet days. Happy Mother's Day.
Another bad aging line.
Colin's got like a mechanical mind, like an engineer's mind.
He's gonna turn out very interesting.
No thanks to you, Kate, but we're not there yet. Kate has a fabulous time with Beth at the spa and talks about how important those days are for her to get away and reset as a mother. And Aaden is there to hype up her nails.
Oh, that's pretty. What?
And that's episode 2. Watching this show where all the kids are little versus Plathville where you have teens and adults makes the dynamic insanely different. I used to love this show, and now I'm pretty bored over it. But this episode aired in 2007, and the show ends in 2009. Then Kate Plus 8 picks up in 2010 after their divorce and ends in 2017. So we have over a decade's worth of these kids' lives on TV. A theme throughout this show that I've been mostly trying to ignore is how Kate constantly laughs at Jon for his weight and fitness. But episode 3 opens with him using their new elliptical, so I bring it up now.
I used it for a couple months, and then I got sick.
The family is getting ready to go to a kids' amusement park called Dutch Wonderland. Kate puts each kid in a shirt labeled 1 through 8, and it correlates to the order they were born.
Not that you're a number, you're each unique individuals.
But Kate took the idea too far and had them made for Jon and her as well.
Well, I just don't feel comfortable wearing it.
So Kate agrees neither of them will wear the shirts. The day at the park seemed to actually go very well considering the chaos of 8 kids to 2 parents. Keep in mind for this next clip that Jon is riding with the 3 boys and Kate has 4 girls. Maddie didn't want to ride.
Jon, help us!
It really is something how rough and sometimes aggressive these parents can be. But I struggle to truly judge them because I'd be way too overstimulated in this situation. I can barely go to an amusement park with a group of adults.
Don't do that.
That's poison and you can die. Don't put it in your mouth again.
At first, I thought Kate was telling a white lie to get her to stop licking her hands, but I think she was licking the hand sanitizer. Anyways, they head to the slide.
Down.
It's just so fun.
I mean, Colin was having problems because he's so stubborn. He likes to control everything.
Come on.
Then they move on to a larger slide, and Jon takes a ride down with each of the sextuplets. To get on a slide, he had to go up a fairly large staircase, so he had to do it 6 times.
Oh, walking up those steps was part of his diet. It was horrendous.
I know I have my own bias about absolutely hating when someone comments on others' bodies, but I get that a lot of relationships are okay with that and find it funny. I just personally hated her little jokes and know that that stuff would get to me. It's also so odd to me because they seem like fun and caring parents, but the way they parent is so dismissive of any big feelings. Maddie is crying and Kate asks Jon to deal with her.
You will sit down and you will be quiet. Sit.
But again, this is 2007. Gentle parenting is not exactly a thing, and Jon is overwhelmed and embarrassed of his older child being the one misbehaving. I'm not gonna act like my parents didn't say these exact words to me, and those aren't the moments I've been talking to my therapist about. The episode ends with a cute little train ride around the park. Episode 4 begins with them converting their attic space into a bedroom for Kara and Maddie. This will make it so that the twins will have their own room together, but the sextuplets will be separated into 2 rooms, one for the 3 boys and one for the 3 girls. The agenda for the day is construction, the cleaning lady is there, the boys all need haircuts, and all the kids are going to the dentist. Kate is a bit overwhelmed.
I'm getting better. I tell myself, it'll be over soon. You'll live through this day.
Joel is also going through a stage where he wants to be referred to as different animals throughout the day. Today, he's a dragon.
I never cut a dragon's hair before. Give me 5.
And now for a child's worst nightmare, the dentist. The twins are going first because they each need a filling. Their dentist is John's dad's former partner, Dr. Gordos, prior to his dad passing. The practice was John's dad's and then was given to Dr. Gordos when he passed. Maddie is clearly upset and uncomfortable when they put her in the chair, but she likes the dentist and feels a bit better once they start talking. And then it's Kara's turn. I was a cavity queen around their age, but I'm super jealous they got to have the laughing gas. I remember just being really uncomfortable and then annoyed that I couldn't eat afterwards. And now it's the Sextuplets' turn. This is their first time at the dentist.
Leah picked her head up as they were going backwards in the chair and said, "I will hold your hand, Joel. It's okay."
I'm actually quite shocked at how well Leah, Joel, Hannah, and Colin all did. The boys were clearly nervous, but doing it with their sisters helped. Aaden and Alexis's turn didn't go as smoothly. Aaden is quiet and does great, but Alexis was freaking out.
Help me.
I give so much credit to everyone in medicine that continuously deals with screaming and scared kids. Y'all are amazing, for real.
It's over. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl.
Alexis then calls out for her blankie and feels a lot better. And that precious smile ends the episode. Episode 5 is all about the 4th of July. The whole gang is heading to John's hometown for the parade. And as usual, Jon and Kate are arguing before they get out of the house. This time about finding red, white, or blue jackets for each kid. And Jon feels like they're running late.
8:15. Beautiful.
We were gonna leave at 8:30.
8:15. Come on.
This is also the episode where we see the ring leash line for the first time. Now that their kids are getting older, they're out of the stroller, but Jon and Kate still need them to stay nearby. So they basically have a leash for them. But it seems to work fairly well.
Right here, we're going this to the right.
The parade begins and chaos erupts when the candy starts being thrown. And then they walk 6 blocks down to the picnic area.
A few meltdowns, few boo-boos, few fights, whatever. We got here. It's all that matters.
At lunch, Jon makes another comment about his diet. I don't think he's eating anything on the show without basically categorizing it as good or bad food.
Full protein. Minus the bread. Oh well.
But I see why he always feels the need to mention it.
Not a very good diet day for Daddy.
No, hasn't been too many of them, actually.
The day ends at Beth's house for a pool party and barbecue. It ends up pouring, but Maddie, Kara, and Beth's daughter still have a blast in the hot tub. And again with the food.
Look, this is healthy food.
My ultimate takeaway from this episode, though, is how amazing it is that Jon and Kate have been at continuing to get their family out and celebrate things despite being so outnumbered. We are now halfway through season 2 and beginning episode 6. The kids got this cute little pop-up cottage with like a kitchen set and such.
At 3, they're into the playing house, playing family age group. So this little cottage thing played right into that.
We also meet Carla, Kate's summertime babysitter.
And they all have their own personalities, and you know, some play a little nicer together than others, but then it's really cool.
And while the kids are napping and Kara is at a friend's, Maddie gets the luxury of licking the brownie mixers. Keep in mind, she's 6.5 and just woke up from a nap.
Thank you, Mommy. Thank you, Mommy.
Another chaotic moment for them is today is Friday and Jon has to also work tomorrow. So Kate decides to take the kids to Chocolate World that Saturday.
We're going to Chocolate World and gonna go chocolate.
Thankfully, everyone needs to leave at the same time so Jon can still help with getting the kids ready.
Yep.
What was the end of what I said?
I can't hear.
That's what I thought.
This is the first time Kate has all of the kids out of the house without Jon. Obviously, she has Carla with her still, but this is a big first for them. They make it to Chocolate World and get on the ride that gives you some information about Hershey's chocolate.
Okay, Mommy's here. I have to get on. Holy cow!
The rest of the episode is them getting some chocolate samples and then having lunch. I give Kate a lot of credit for making that day work and being able to take these kids out, although I know she constantly has extra helping hands. Going back to Kate valuing feeding her kids healthy foods, Episode 7 begins with them getting ready to go to Natural Acres to get half a cow's meat. Kate hopes this will last them the entire year. Having to learn to be as efficient as possible, they have these cute little pouches for each kid that they're able to clip to their car seats and give them dry cereal. Kate says they do this every Sunday on the way to church, and they're doing it today because of how early they're leaving. They make it to the farm and take a tractor and wagon ride. Kate is about as chill as she usually is. They also get to feed the chickens, and Colin is super into it.
And I can count on him. I can give him any job, and he will make sure it gets done.
Then they go and see the cows.
You graze on it.
In Gosselin fashion, they have a picnic for lunch and then get back to their day of activities. And considering they were in Pennsylvania, the land of the Amish, they had to take a horse and buggy ride. A small argument breaks out between Maddie and Kara because only one kid can sit in the front at once.
Kara, don't cry. We're gonna go, and when we turn around, you just switch.
And then she gets to sit in the front.
So he let her pull left and pull right. It was fun.
They then fill up the van with all their meat and head home. In episode 8, Kate is cooking with an all-organic chef who is also on Discovery Health, Sara Snow. So a little crossover episode. I don't remember this show being one big ad for eating organically.
About 80 or 90% of our food that we bring into the house is organic.
It's pretty cute how much Sara is able to get the kids involved. She starts off by having Kara and Maddie paint and label bins for recycling, and then she teaches the little kids the importance of turning off lights they're not using. The kids go down for a nap, and Sara begins teaching Kate about organic cleaners.
I want to build my kids' bodies strong and healthy so that they can hopefully have a healthier life, and that's important to us.
They move on to cooking, and Sara shows how to make stir fry. She also shows how to stretch your spaghetti sauce.
Start with a jar of organic spaghetti sauce, but then you're gonna add to it a lot of fresh vegetables and different things.
While they cook, the kids all wake up and Carla takes them on a walk around the neighborhood. Jon gets home from work and they all sit down for dinner.
Sara, this is delicious.
Oh, Maddie, thank you.
Very good.
Dinner wraps up and Sara heads home. The last 2 episodes of season 2 are focused on the remodeling of the attic to turn it into Maddie and Kara's bedroom.
What's gonna happen to this room?
It's gonna be the little girls.
And then where are you gonna move to?
The attic.
While that several-month-long project is occurring, they go shopping for big kid beds for the sextuplets. In a post-interview, Kate talks about how Jon is either in a good mood and right on top of everything, or he's in a bad mood and everything is annoying to him and the house becomes a mess.
And it just has to do with his attitude. Wake up, honey.
I am.
You
I'm
need
listening.
to hear this. Okay. Yes, thank you.
All 10 of them go to the furniture store and begin looking at beds. I get that they wanted the kids to be involved, but this clearly wasn't a good idea.
Do you follow what I'm saying?
No. I'm like overwhelmed now.
Also, Colin was struggling with some intense constipation and made it difficult for Kate to focus and decide on beds.
Can you make a decision so we can move along?
Later in the episode, Jon takes him to the van and is actually able to pull his poop out for him. Now that's some loving parenting. And Kate finally decides on what to get.
We would be at $29.35.
That concludes episode 9, and the construction continues into episode 10, the season finale. The attic is coming together nicely. Now it's time for Jon to paint, and he does it alongside Kate's sister's husband, Jeff. I'm beginning to make a crappy family tree because I'm lost. A lot of this episode has been the kids screaming and crying because Kate is on her own while Jon is busy painting. I have babysat and nannied babies and toddlers a lot in my life, but this noise level would be way too much for me. In the attic, they've made the room about as pink as can be, and a week later, the room is all set up.
Welcome to our room.
And now that their room is done, the sextuplets' beds can be built.
Well, the bunk bed's fully assembled. Now there's only one other bed that matches and a trundle underneath.
When Jon is ready to start working on the boys' beds, Kate says he needs to clean up the boxes in their current room so she can put them down for a nap. Jon wants to just build the boys' beds now, so he refuses.
Do it after nap. Our original plan. This is how we do
I'm not doing
things.
it.
But Kate wins this one, and Jon has to wait to build the other beds. He's still able to get it done later that day, and that night they get to sleep in their new big boy and big girl beds. They aren't using the top bunk yet, and are using the trundle for the time being.
Love you. Girls, we're sleeping in tomorrow.
And that's season 2. One thing I have noticed while watching the show is that Jon and Kate Plus 8's Google page is messed up. On Max, season 3 begins with an episode at the zoo. However, Google credits this as season 2, episode 10. Then Google skips over 3 years for season 2, episodes 11 and 12. But those episodes are actually Kate Plus 8's season 2, episodes 11 and 12. Super confusing. I am ultimately noticing that between Google, Amazon Prime, and Max, the episode numbers and order vary. I will be watching season 3, but considering it's nearly 13 hours of TV, it will be split into at least 2 parts and will take a while to get out. Or maybe it'll be my longest video yet. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Bye!